Please welcome back to Jack and Wealth channel. This is your host Jack. Previously on our last topic, the rise of the Antichrist, we talked about how Lucifer fell from grace and how there is a battle of ideology over the earth realm because God has stopped using violence to destroy the fallen angels. So God would have worked with Abel, but due to the fact that Cain killed his brother Abel, God could no longer work with Abel. God waited until Cain gave birth and he started with Enoch. God worked with Enoch and Enoch pleased God, and the scripture recorded that Enoch was taken away. But let's look at the insight of what was happening then. It's obvious that the earth realm had the presence of God and the fallen angel. They were closer to us. I don't know how to describe it. Either their planet was with ours or they had spaceships that was close to us. But what I can explain is that Enoch was taken, so he did not experience that. I can't really explain that particular part very well. So that was the story with Enoch. God worked with Enoch and worked with the lineage of Enoch until he got to Noah. At this point in the story of Noah, you can see how far the fallen angels have done. They have created a world full of how far the fallen angels have come. They have created a world of terror. They created powerful men, monsters, beasts all over the earth, destroying the earth. And there was a group of angels called the Watcher that fell in love with the daughter of men. Because of their lust, they disobeyed God and they came to the earth realm and gave themselves mortal bodies in order to have a relationship with these mortal women. And they gave birth to monsters as well. So God was displeased with what was happening on earth at that time and decided that he was going to destroy earth so that he can recreate it the way he wants, because man at that time had turned evil. They took the knowledge of the fallen angel, like the knowledge of witchcraft, technology, craftsmanship, created weapons, created a lot of things to destroy themselves and made God unhappy due to the amount of sins they commit. At the end of the flood, it was recorded that only Noah and his family survived. But after many years from the incident of the giants, it could be traced back to the fallen angels. It shows that the fallen angels were able to save part of their lineage from perishing during the flood. After many years, the flood took place. The earth repopulated itself again. The fallen angels continued their activities, poisoning the heart of men, creating different sections. But this time, men were ruled under one language, and due to that, they were able to unite properly to stand against God. The story of the Tower of Babel showed how men were trying to build a tower that could reach the heaven in order to meet God. That is a proof that then there is a proof that God was on earth. Either he was on a floating city in the sky or he had a spaceship that was floating in the sky. The incident of the Tower of Babel did not only change the language of men because God caused confusion among men and changed their language spiritually or telepathically. But it did not only change the language, it also made the knowledge of God to be hidden from many people. Because when the language of men were changed to various languages, different nations formed, different society were formed, and the fallen angels took charge of many of these societies and nations, being gods to them. So the knowledge of God became a mystery to many until later on God decided to form his own nation. That was when the story of Abraham started. God chose Abraham to spread his nation through Abraham. That was why God walked with Abraham and promised him that he would be the father of many nations, because Abraham was part of God's plan for the world. God wanted to create a nation of holiness, a nation that will stand out from the rest of the nations of the world.